Auto-grade assignments using Canvas quizzes. Sometimes we assign our students things like worksheet type assignments that can be really monotonous and tedious to grade. One cool trick is to maybe use Canvas quizzes to help you do that. So if especially something like a lab assignment where students are answering certain questions, a lot of times they might have a fill in the blank or multiple choice type things, and then you get those lab assignments and then you're grading paper after paper that's pretty easy to grade but just takes a lot of time. What you can do is you can create a quiz in Canvas and use that to auto grade that. So it's really not an actual quiz, it's more of an answer sheet submission. So this is definitely something that I think is worth taking a look at for your classes to help your grading go a little more quickly. Let's go ahead and take a look at a demo. You create an assignment answer sheet in Canvas quizzes the same way you would create any quiz in Canvas. For this demonstration, I am using classic quizzes in Canvas, but a similar thing can be done using new quizzes. The first thing you would want to do is create your assignment. So for demo purposes today, I've created this very short assignment for a geology class. Let's zoom in. And it asks 3 questions. And you could give your students this page, they would fill it out and they'd have to hand grade it. But instead, we're going to let Canvas do that work. So you still want to present the students with this material. So let's figure out how we might do that and then have Canvas auto grade that. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that and go back to Canvas. I'm going to start over in quizzes. And I'm going to go ahead and click add a quiz. And you'll see it gives me this choice here. If you've chosen something before like new quizzes and remembered that choice, it won't give you this option, but you can always come back to the 3 dots and say reset quiz engine choice. And the next time you click add quiz, it will allow you to select. So I'm going to select classic quizzes and click submit. And then I'm going to go ahead and name that. So maybe this is going to be lesson 1 assignment answer sheet. So it's very clear that this is really an answer sheet and not really a quiz for them. And then you're going to want to provide your instructions. Complete this assignment using the sample provided in class and this assignment page. So you would say something like the lesson 1 assignment page. And so now we want to link that to the PDF that I just showed you. So let's go ahead and talk about how to do that. I'm going to just save this temporarily. We'll come back to it in just a moment. So I've got my answer sheet, quote unquote, quiz sitting here. And I want to load that PDF as a file. So I'm going to come over here to Files, and I'm actually going to hold the Control key down, click Files, and that'll open it in a new tab. So now I've got these 2 tabs to play with. And you might have a folder structure. I'm just going to add it to my basic structure here for demo purposes and just click Upload. And here's my PDF that I had showed you before. And open that. And now it's going to add it to this listing of files. I'm going to go back to my quiz and edit that. And now what I can do, I can go ahead and highlight my lesson 1 assignment page, come to course documents under that little page icon, and then click on the PDF. And then it's going to link that to the text I had previously inserted. So now my students have the instructions. I'm going to take instructions, highlight that, and make it a header 2 following best practices for headings. And so I've given them this assignment. So they say, okay, I'm going to come here and complete this with the assignment or the sample that was provided in class, but then what do I do? So the first part of the instructions is to complete it. And then you would say, then complete this quiz in Canvas using your answers from the lesson 1 assignment page. So you'll probably want to give slightly more detailed instructions, but you get the idea here. You need to tell your students what to do. So I'm going to come down here and click the quiz type would be a graded quiz, most likely if you want it to be graded. And remember, it's not really a quiz, but that's what Canvas calls it. You can put it in the correct assignment group. You can choose to shuffle answers and add time limits. All of the normal things you would do in a quiz you can do here. But just really think about, you're just giving them a place to input answers. So do you want to allow multiple attempts? Do you want them to see the correct answers? All of those things are things you're going to have to answer. And then I'm going to come down here and you can assign your due dates, and then I would click Save and Publish. Now, right now, I just have this page that's presenting a PDF that they could download and fill out, and also some instructions to complete a quiz. But I haven't added any questions to this quiz. So I'm going to go ahead and click Edit. Notice right now that points aren't attached, and that's again because we haven't added those questions yet. So let's click Edit. And I'm going to click over here to questions. And in this case, I'm going to add questions directly to this quiz. So my new question. And if I go back to my PDF, I'll notice that sample A is an igneous rock was my first question, and it was a multiple choice question. So I'm going to come here and click multiple choice. Here's my question. And my possible answers were igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. So now it's matching up with what was on that PDF. And I'm going to delete this fourth option using the trash can. All right, so I'm going to update the question. And notice that I'm going to click Edit again. It defaulted to igneous as being the correct answer, but you would want to select it if it wasn't that top one. So make sure that the correct answer is highlighted. So I'm going to update question again. And then I'm going to go ahead and put new question in here. And if I remember back to my PDF, my second question was true, false. Sample A is coarse-grained. So I'm going to go ahead and put that as my true false question. So I've selected that here, pasted that in here, and I'm going to mark that true, let's say. So update question. And you can click the show question details so you can see those details if that's easier for you to work that way. I'm going to add one more question, and it's my last one, which is going to be sample A is an. And you would probably want to write that so they know the actual rock name, be a little more clear. And this is going to be a fill in the blank. So now I've got sample A is an, and my answers, and you can see it says here is possible answers. So I know the answer is granite, but you may want to put all the possible answers that they might type in. So let's say you're going to accept a typo. So granite without the E. You would want to put that as an option. Canvas is not case sensitive in this case, so you don't need to put in an option with a capital G. But just to show you one more, add another answer. Let's say you're going to accept granodiorite as an answer. So you could put that here. So no matter which of these three options the student typed in, they would get credit for that answer. So I'm going to update the question, and you can see what these possible answers look like here. Now there are a lot of other options. If I do new questions just to see, you can also put in a essay question. So let's say that your question was, describe where you might find this rock. In California, something like that. So this is just going to be a free response. I'm going to click update question. And of course, I would have wanted to add that to question number 4 on my PDF. So now I've got this last question. I want to show you just what that looks like for a student taking this quiz or taking this kind of input sheet here. So I'm going to click save. And now I've created this lesson 1 assignment answer sheet where the students will come in, download this assignment page, fill it out on their own, and then come here to provide the answers. So if I do a student view and what this looks like, you can see that in this case, I left it by default 1 point each, so it's worth 4 points. There's 4 questions, no time limit. This is what it's going to look like for the students. And actually, instructions was already provided there, so it's there twice. I'm going to go ahead and click take the quiz. And you can see here that sample A, we would mark igneous. So question 2, let's mark it false. That's actually going to be incorrect. And I'm going to type granite in here. And then this would be my essay response or short answer response. And then I would submit the quiz. And so what's going to happen for the student is they're going to see their answers because I've marked it to where they can. It gives them their correct answer and tells them this is correct. And then this one's just not yet graded. So when you as the instructor go in and look at this in SpeedGrader, you're going to have to go in and manually grade this, assign it points, and then when the student comes back, it's going to give them their final score. So it works just like anything else in SpeedGrader. So now I'm going to go out of student view. And then just remind you that you'd want to actually add this to your content. So let's go to modules. And so let's say this was part of lesson 1. So I'm going to go to lesson 1. And I'm going to come here and click add. And it is a quiz, even though it's really not a quiz, but we're using it that way. And here's my lesson 1 assignment answer sheet. So I'll add that item. It's going to add it to the very bottom. I might want to put that in my graded assignment. So maybe it's sitting right in here, right above the lesson 1 quiz. So when students come to this part of their workflow, they'll get to this, they'll complete the answer sheet, they'll complete the quiz, which really is just a way to input those answers. And then you'll be able to have it auto-graded. And if there's any essay questions, you might have to manually grade that, but the rest of it will automatically grade. Thank you. For more tutorials, check out our YouTube channel, Faculty Development Center, CSUF.